Auran Shereef show, how to attract, maintain, and keep a high value man in your life. Let's talk about it. So I went out and had a great time. I was out at the Gaylord National Harbor down in, I think it's either Maryland or Virginia National Harbor. They had a big all white rooftop party at Pose Rooftop Lounge in at the Gaylord Convention Center. Again, pay attention to where you actually go on the weekends. I don't have anything against dive bars, but if you're going to the rooftop of a very high-end hotel, you're going to meet some cool people. So, just want to give some feedback on some questions I get, and this is a very popular topic for dating, and this is specifically for women. So, if you're a guy, this isn't really your this isn't really targeted to you, so you can skip this and go to the dating advice for men. But this is specifically for women who have, let's say, difficulty in attracting, maintaining, and keeping a high value man, a man of high status. And I see this all the time on the internet, and there's always these women talking about how to keep a man, etc. Listen from me. I am a high value, high status guy. I'm a 7-time tech entrepreneur. I've built many companies. I'm incredibly successful in my opinion. I know I am. And I say that to myself to remind myself who I am, and confidence and words have power and meaning. So never diminish yourself, who you think you are. Always talk highly of yourself. You want to have high self confidence. It's not ego. You must tell yourself who you are. I always repeat to myself when I stand in the mirror, I'm an amazing, powerful a person. I'm a visionary icon. And Bob Proctor taught me this early on. You have to love yourself. If you don't love yourself, you're not going to be able to love anybody else. And that's a big problem I've seen these days when it comes to dating. People don't really even like themselves, and they're trying to date other people. And 99% of the time, your relationships will fail because you don't actually like yourself as a person. And if you don't even like yourself, how do you expect anyone else to like you? And I can tell you from experience because I didn't like me when I was 26, 25, 24. I didn't like me. I didn't like me at all. I was doing bad. I was spiritually, financially, emotionally broke. I had nothing. I was just a broke college student. I wasn't very happy with my life. But after meeting Bob Proctor, he taught me self image and self awareness and to have a healthy self image of yourself. And he would do this on stage. He would kiss his own hand in front of everybody and say, I love you to himself. You have to love yourself in order to love someone else properly. If you can't love yourself, you won't be able to give the correct amount of love to someone else. So you have to have a healthy self love for yourself. It's called self love. So if you're listening, get your hand right now, your left or your right hand, and kiss it and say, I love myself. I love you. I love you so much. You're amazing. Start saying that to yourself. And don't say, I hate you. You're doing terrible. You're doing a bad job. Be careful of your inner talk and your inner dialogue. It'll ruin your life. And I did this myself too, a lot. But after meeting Bob, I corrected that behavior. And guess what happened after I started saying I love myself? I found more beautiful, meaningful relationships. The problem people don't have good relationships with others is they don't know how to build relationships with other people. And that's what I talk about in my training, my seminar, my courses, how to have meaningful relationships with other people. Very important. It's relationships and people is the most important thing in life. It's not actually the money, it's the people, it's the relationships, the people you talk to. That's more important actually than the money. Because at the end of the day, you don't take the money with you. Go back and listen to my talk about my mother passing away with only $10,000 in her bank account. Did it really matter, all the money? She didn't even have any money at the end of her life. But she had amazing memories. She had children. She had grandchildren. She traveled 100 countries. She had a beautiful life. She lived a full, happy life every day she could. Many ups and downs, but she did what she could to live a good life. So make sure you enjoy your part of life you're supposed to. It's a big theme. It's a big theme on my channel to enjoy your life. I'm a big advocate of enjoying your life. I'm not an advocate of the quote unquote hustle culture, grinding. I don't like that term grinding. You shouldn't be grinding. You should be effortlessly falling into wealth. That's a much better expression than I'm grinding every day. That doesn't sound good. And take it from me, you don't want to grind every day. It's you're not going to be in a good vibration. So getting a little off track, but let's go back to the dating advice for women, how to maintain, attract, and keep a high profile man. So let's talk about it, everybody. The first thing I want to discuss is attracting or manifesting a high value guy. And I have to say, there's a big difference between high value men. It's like a big topic these days, high value men, regular men, and let's just say, you know, maybe guys who are still struggling. And I can talk about this with a lot of credibility and authority because I've been through every level. You know, even when I was a low value guy, I didn't know that I was deep down inside a high value guy, but because I let my surroundings dictate who I was, I kept thinking I was a nobody. That's why I started this talk with self-confidence. Even if you have nothing, confidence, believe it or not, actually is the game changer in everything. So, high value guys. Let's talk about what's the difference between low value, let's just call it mid value maybe, like an average guy, and then high value men, like the elite, the top of the food chain of men, the one that all the women want. So the bottom of the barrel, which was me growing up, I had nothing. I didn't have muscle. I don't think I had good looks. I think I had a lot of acne when I was 13, 14. I mean, I don't think I was very high value. I was broke. I didn't have a job. I didn't have a car. So step one for guys is to at least get yourself a car and a regular steady job. You know, that's level one for men. Have just the basic thing. Have a job, making money, have your own car. Level two would be to have your own place, and that would be to lease, rent, or own. And ladies, please don't make fun of guys who are renting or leasing properties. That's fine also. At least they have their own place. I started renting and leasing, and in fact, many extraordinarily wealthy people still rent and lease their homes, and they just buy assets like multifamily apartments or something like that. So, I wouldn't necessarily judge a guy if he's leasing, renting, or owning the property. It's just depends on his financial strategy. Also, regarding his car, I mean, you got to have kind of a regular, nice car. You don't need to be driving a Ferrari, but at least a relatively new car. You don't want to be driving a beater. And I had a beater. And and another thing, if the guy does have a car, again, do not judge him. Do not judge him that he's renting the car, making car payments. Everyone in the world is renting something. So please stop judging guys if they're renting or owning. It's just depends on their financial strategy. That's if you're judging guys on if they're renting or owning, you're not in the right frame of mind. You That's not the correct way to look at men. So I know because a lot of my cars I either lease them for tax write-offs or something. And if I had a woman ask me, "Oh, but you don't own your Mercedes, you don't own your Ferrari," I would instantly just cancel them out of my head and think I'm not interested in them. So don't shoot yourself in the foot if you're chatting with someone like that. So the third level, you have the first level, which is the guy, no job, nothing. Second level is a guy with a job, with a car, and maybe renting or leasing a property. And let's just say skip to the third level, which is a high value guy who's making, let's say 6 to 7 figures. Let's just say 7 figures and above. That's more than 900,000. That's a million plus. If you meet a guy who's making a million plus, there's a little bit different criteria for those guys. And I'll tell you because I'm part of this group of guys, kind of the upper level echelon of men. Um, and I'm telling you, I've completely changed my values when it came to women once I achieved a lot of success. Number one, I'm going to list them in order. Number one, high value guys do not have time for games. So I'll repeat this. High value men do not have time for games. We don't have time to play games. We're busy making a lot of money, providing for ourselves, our family, our friends, probably our employees, our business people, and a lot of other people. The last thing in the world is we want and someone to waste our time, which is incredibly valuable, and quote unquote play the games that people play. So if you simply do not play games, you're going to instantly become much more attractive to high value men because they'll recognize, wow, you don't play games like the other girls are playing. I like you. Believe it or not, that's a great way to attract and keep a high value guy. Don't play games with him. Don't play the cat and mouse chase after me game or the you need to come get me. I'm a girl, so you have to do all this chasing. No. When you're a high value guy and you're talking to a high value guy, don't do that. Don't do the playing games thing. High value guys do not have time for games. So if you really want to land that guy and keep him, stop playing games. That's what the I would say lower value, um, maybe the lower rank, maybe women who don't understand how to properly date men yet and need some coaching or guidance. So do not play games with high value men. They will just never talk to you again or just delete you out of their life. I would if you wanted to romantically get involved with me and you played a lot of games, I would not entertain that and I would probably stop talking to you. A second thing, when it comes to high value men, you really have to maintain a high level of I would say upkeep and beauty, intelligence, etc. Because high value men they have access to a lot of different pool of the opposite gender, so they usually will tend towards women who have a better upkeep. Their hair is made, their nails are done, their makeup looks great. So, got to make sure you really take care of yourself if you're high value, and also physically make sure you're in shape. You work out, you're doing what you can to keep your body in shape, you know, and you look good. That's all I'll say. Number four, in order to maintain, attract, and keep a high value guy, offer some value to him besides your looks. If you are very beautiful, you're blessed. That's blessing. If you're not as beautiful as the most beautiful woman in the world or the Victoria's Secret models, there's other things you can offer too, and that's your mind and your attention. So, like for me, I have a lot of businesses and stuff I'm running. So if I found someone that's not only just beautiful, doesn't play games, intelligent, smart, but also can talk about what I'm doing, what I'm doing with my tech company, what I'm doing with my film company, we can chat about that and they're interesting conversations. If you could simply just talk to a high value guy about what he's doing, I'm telling you, us high value guys, we like that. We like when you listen to our business stuff or whatever we're talking about and you listen and you offer feedback and you say, oh, it's really interesting. I see that you're building this business. What do you think about this and that? Don't just don't just sit there and not say anything. And I'm specifically making this talk because I met a few women. It was a little odd. They were 29 and 30, and they've never had a single romantic partner in their entire life. And they were telling me, I forgot her name, Michelle or someone, and she said, "I've never had a boyfriend ever, and I'm 32 years old." And then she verbally stated, "I don't know how to talk to a guy." And as soon as she had said that, I said, "Wow, you know, where do women learn how to talk to guys then? I guess from other women." So I'm offering you some advice from a guy how to talk to a guy because I am a man. And it's pretty simple. If we approach you in a gentleman way, in a polite way, and we're interested, again, the best thing to do is be polite and respond. But if you can identify this is a high value guy, you have to pay a little bit more attention. And again, don't play games, but just listening, offer some value back, feedback. I'm interested in what you're doing, etc. Another thing with high value guys, if we offer, we're going to take you on a date, we're going to take you out, please take that seriously. I really pay close attention if I'm offering a date or something, or we're supposed to meet and you're late, or you don't show up, or you're not prompt with timing, because a lot of high value men, they're very closely monitoring time. Time is the most valuable asset for us. So if you're kind of messing up all of our time by us just waiting on you to meet, or just simply have our first or second date, and you just continuously flake, or you're not able to actually show up, those are really serious red flags for high value men. And if there's any high value men listening, you know what I'm saying. If a girl did that more than once or twice, it's a done deal. There's no third chances with us because of our status, and that we're able to, have our selection option pool. So be very careful if you're setting a date with a high value guy. I wouldn't say there's too much pressure. I don't think there's there that much pressure, but just please, if you're making a date with someone, be prompt, agree to a date and time, and show up. A lot of life is showing up. When I paid Bob Proctor $15,000 to coach me, I was there early every day and I stayed late every day to learn. And sometimes I would just wander around in the lobby at the Westin Hotel in Toronto, just to see if I could find anyone else interesting to chat with that was involved in entrepreneurship. So, again, number one, don't waste time. Don't waste that person's time. Don't play games. Show up on time. Work out. Keep yourself in a good shape. Make sure you have your hair, your makeup, your nails, everything done correctly. And honestly, it's a competition out there. It really is. High value guys, they're the catches right there. If you want to catch a guy like that and hold on to him, remember what I'm telling you. Offer value when they're talking. Don't be late to dates. Be prompt, on time, and it's really not that difficult. You just have to listen. And high value guys, they love talking about themselves. I mean, I like talking about myself. They love talking about their accomplishments, what they've done, but just pay a little bit more attention. And also don't don't do the thing where, okay, he's a high value guy, but he's a guy. So then you try to just treat him the same way as every other guy, like a regular guy or another high value man. You have to be very careful with them because you don't get second and third chances. Once you screw up, kind of it's a done deal. So, and that's actually true with me too. I don't give a lot of second and third chances. If like I said, you play games, you waste too much time. So, this talk is hopefully to give you some insight of how to attract, maintain, and keep a high value guy. 4 or 5 pretty simple rules. And if you pay attention to these rules, hopefully this will help you. And if you've never had a boyfriend ever in your entire life, I have a course for that, dating course for women. Um, how to talk, maintain, and attract a high value guy. And this is coming from a guy. I do like listening to some of the women on YouTube when they're talking about, men, etc. But take it from guys what they want. If you want to know what we want, listen to what I'm saying and listen to what guys are saying about what they want. They'll pretty much just tell you flat out what they want. And it's really not that difficult. The kindness is a big thing. And femininity, I think, is getting lost in our culture a little bit, especially in the United States. So a lot of women have kind of lost their femininity and they're leaning towards the masculine side, climbing the corporate career ladder, always working, dressing very masculine. I think men in general, we want real women, feminine women. I particularly like kind of the traditional side, but it's a different day and age. Modern dating in 2025 is totally different than 1945 or 1905. So just be careful and remember those original values that we all grew up with as women and men. How to treat each other with kindness, compassion, and a loving nature. And really, I think just in general, give guys a break. We are made in this world to suffer. I think, like a lot of people said on the internet, men are made to just suffer in war, suffer to, do everything. And, we already do a lot as men. The world needs men and women equally. So I think where society gets a little messed up is where we get these roles reversed, and the women become men, and then the men become women. So I'm a big proponent of men being men and women being women. So there's a big shift in this culture and age, so we'll see where this goes. But hopefully this advice was helpful. Just to recap, number one, if you're with the high value guy, whatever you do, do not play games. Um, Listen, pay attention, be kind, be prompt and on time. And if you miss one or two dates, probably you're not going to get a third. Keep yourself in good shape, have a good upkeep, dress well, and again, high value guys, they're all out there. You can identify them, you can find them, but maintaining and keeping them, that's kind of tough to do. That takes time, practice, and experience, but you can do it. So hopefully you guys found this helpful. And if you want more dating type advice podcasts, shows, comment on the comment below and said, I want more dating stuff, and I'll do more for you guys. Thanks again for listening, and stay tuned for the next episode.